Every morning in a small coastal town in Norway, a Norwegian elk hound named Sif waits by a frost-covered window. The sun hasn't risen yet, the harbor is still dark, but Sif is already there, watching for the moment her owner's boots will crunch across the gravel path. And when that moment comes, when the door finally opens and the cold air rushes in, Sif doesn't jump. She doesn't bark. She just exhales. A long, deep sigh that seems to come from somewhere ancient inside her chest. Have you ever heard that sound from your dog? Because what you're hearing isn't just breath. It's the deepest compliment a living being can give. Your dog speaks a language most people never learn to hear, not because it's complicated, but because it's quiet. So quiet that it gets lost beneath the noise of daily life. The barking, the tail wagging, the obvious displays of excitement. Those are easy to read. But the profound compliments, the ones that reveal how deeply your dog trusts and loves you, those come in whispers. In gestures so subtle, they feel like secrets shared between souls. And once you learn to recognize them, you'll never look at your dog the same way again. In the mountains of Norway, where Sif's ancestors hunted alongside Vikings, survival meant reading the smallest signals, a shift in wind direction, a change in another animal's breathing, the ability to sense danger before it arrived. Norwegian elk hounds were bred to be vigilant, to stay alert in conditions that could kill you in minutes if you let your guard down. That instinct doesn't disappear just because a dog lives in a warm house now. It's written into their DNA, which is why the first compliment your dog can give you is so extraordinary. It's the compliment of complete vulnerability in a body built for constant awareness. When your dog sighs deeply in your presence, they're telling you something profound. That long exhale, the one where their whole body seems to soften and sink into the floor, that's not just tiredness. It's the physical release of vigilance. Dogs are descended from wolves, and wolves who sleep too deeply in the wild don't wake up. Every dog carries that knowledge in their bones. Sleep is dangerous. Relaxation is a luxury that must be earned through safety. So when your dog exhales fully, when they let that deep sigh escape, they're saying you've created an environment so secure that they can afford to stop watching, stop listening, stop preparing for threat. Researchers studying canine stress responses have found that dogs maintain what's called sentinel behavior even in domestic settings. They monitor doors, they track sounds, they position themselves where they can see entry points. It's exhausting work that happens mostly beneath conscious awareness, but in the presence of someone they trust completely, that monitoring system can power down. The nervous system can shift from sympathetic activation to parasympathetic rest. And that shift is marked by breath, by the kind of sigh that sounds almost human in its depth of relief. You might have noticed your dog does this at specific times. When you sit down after a long day and they curl up beside you. When you're reading and they're lying at your feet. When the house finally goes quiet and it's just the two of you in the stillness. These aren't random moments. Your dog is reading the emotional atmosphere. They're sensing that you're settled, that you're calm, that the pack is safe. And they're responding by offering you the compliment of their complete relaxation. They're saying, because you're here, I can rest. Because you're watching, I don't have to. But there's a second compliment even more remarkable, one that seems contradictory until you understand what it really means. When your dog turns their back to you, when they sit or lie down facing away while you're in the room, they're giving you one of the highest honors in canine communication. They're showing you they trust you enough to not watch you, that they believe so completely in your benevolence that they can put their attention elsewhere, knowing you'll never hurt them from behind. In pack dynamics, turning your back is an act of profound trust. Wolves maintain eye contact with pack members they're uncertain about. They position themselves to keep potential threats in view. But with trusted family, they can afford to look away, to focus on the world beyond the pack, to take on the role of outward sentinel while trusting the pack to guard their vulnerable side. When your dog sits with their back to you, facing the door or window, they're not ignoring you. They're partnering with you. They're saying, I'll watch out there because I trust you're watching in here. Sif does this every evening. While her owner sits by the fire, Sif positions herself facing the window, her back to the warmth, her eyes on the darkness beyond the glass. She's not worried. She's not anxious. She's just holding her post. And in that quiet vigil, She's paying her owner the compliment of assumed partnership. She's saying, "We're a team. I trust you so much that I can give my attention to protecting us both. I don't need to monitor you because I know who you are." This is the opposite of a dog who watches you constantly with uncertainty, a dog who tracks your every movement because they're not sure what you might do next. That's not trust. That's surveillance born from insecurity. But a dog who can turn away, who can focus on the world beyond you while remaining in your presence, that's a dog who has decided you're safe, that you're family, that you're worthy of the kind of trust that only comes from deep, tested love. Then there's the lean. You felt it. That moment when your dog walks up to you and just presses against your leg. Not hard, not demanding anything. Just standing there with their body weight gently resting against you. It's easy to dismiss this as attention-seeking, to think they want something, food, a walk, playtime. But pay attention to when it happens. Often, it's when you're not doing anything particular. When you're standing in the kitchen or sitting on the couch or just existing in space, your dog approaches and leans. And then they just stay there. This is called contact-seeking behavior, and it's one of the most pure forms of connection in the animal kingdom. Your dog isn't asking for action, they're asking for presence. They're creating a physical bridge between your nervous system and theirs. Studies on oxytocin release in dogs show that simple physical contact with a trusted human creates the same bonding hormone response that human mothers experience with their infants. Your dog is literally regulating their emotions through contact with your body. But it's more than biochemistry. It's choice. Your dog could seek comfort by lying down in their bed. They could self-soothe in dozens of ways, but they choose you. They walk across the room to press against you specifically. Because your presence, your physical presence, has become synonymous with safety and peace. You've become their emotional anchor, the place they return to when they need to feel grounded. In Norway, there's a word, trygghet. It means security, but it's deeper than that. It's the feeling of being so safe that you can be vulnerable, so protected that you can be soft. Your dog experiences trygghet when they lean against you. They're not just touching you, they're letting you hold the weight of their worry, their uncertainty, their need for connection. They're saying, "You make the world less overwhelming. When I'm with you, everything feels more manageable." The lean is different from jumping or pawing or other attention-seeking behaviors because it asks for nothing except nearness. It's not a transaction, it's communion. Your dog is choosing to share space with you in the quietest possible way. No performance, no excitement. Just the simple animal truth that being near you feels better than being anywhere else. And if you can recognize that for what it is, not neediness, but the deepest form of compliment, you'll understand your dog's heart in a way most people never do. These three compliments, the sigh, the turned back, the lean, they form a language of trust that goes back thousands of years, back to when the first wolves chose to sleep near human fires, back to when our ancestors and their ancestors decided that partnership was worth the risk of vulnerability. Your dog is speaking that ancient language every single day. The question is whether you're listening, whether you're recognizing these quiet moments as the profound declarations of love they actually are. Which of these compliments have you noticed from your dog? Because once you start seeing them, you'll realize your dog has been honoring you all along, in ways that don't make noise, in ways that don't demand attention. In the sacred silence between you, the seasons change in Norway, and Sif changes with them. In summer, she waits by the window with light pouring through the glass. In winter, she waits in darkness, her breath fogging the cold pain. But through every season, through every shift in weather and light, there are two compliments she gives that never waver. Two gestures so consistent they've become rituals. And rituals, in the language of dogs, are how love becomes visible. How devotion gets practiced into permanence. Every morning, before her bowl is filled, before the door opens to let her outside, before anything else in the world matters, Sif seeks out her owner. She rises from sleep, and her first act is to find them, to press her nose against their hand, to make eye contact, to confirm with her whole body that they're still there, still real, still the center of everything. This is the fourth compliment, the morning check-in. And it might be the most profound statement of priority your dog will ever make. You've probably experienced this without recognizing what it means. Your dog wakes up, and instead of running to their food bowl or asking to go outside, they come to you first. They seek you out with intention, with focus, with the kind of single-minded purpose that reveals what actually matters to them. And what matters isn't food. It isn't the need to relieve themselves. It isn't any biological drive. What matters is you, confirming your presence, anchoring their day in the knowledge that their person is safe and near. In attachment theory, this behavior is called secure base checking. Human children do it. They wake up and call for their parents, not because they need anything specific, but because they need to know their attachment figure is available, that the world is still ordered correctly, that the source of their safety hasn't disappeared in the night. Dogs do the same thing. But with dogs, it's even more remarkable because they're making a conscious choice to delay gratification of real physical needs in order to fulfill an emotional one first. Think about what that means. Your dog's bladder is full. Their stomach is empty. Every biological system in their body is sending signals that should take priority, but they override all of that to check on you first. Because in the hierarchy of their needs, you rank above survival drives. You're not just important, you're foundational. You're the thing that has to be confirmed before anything else can matter. That's not dependency. That's devotion in its purest form. Behaviorists studying canine cognition have found that dogs create what they call social maps in their brains, mental representations of who matters and how much they matter. These maps are constantly being updated based on interaction and emotional resonance, and in a dog's social map, their primary attachment figure occupies a space that neuroscientists compare to the way human brains process thoughts of romantic partners or children. You're not just in their social network. You're the sun that network orbits around. When Sif checks on her owner each morning, she's not being needy. She's being intentional. She's choosing to start her day by affirming what matters most. And in a world where your dog could choose comfort or food or freedom first, the fact that they choose you tells you everything about how they've mapped their emotional universe. You're not an accessory to their life. You're the reason their life feels worth living. Some dogs do this differently. Some bring you a toy immediately upon waking. Some press their head into your lap. Some simply sit and stare at you with an intensity that feels almost spiritual. The specific behavior matters less than the pattern, that you are the first priority, that before the day begins, before anything else happens, they need to make contact with you. They need to say good morning, not with words, but with presence, with the gift of their attention before anything else gets it. But the fifth compliment might be the one that breaks your heart when you finally understand it. It's the compliment of protected sleep, the way your dog positions themselves when they rest, not randomly, not carelessly, but with strategic intention that reveals they see themselves as your guardian, even when you're the one protecting them. Watch where your dog sleeps. Really watch. You'll notice they often position themselves between you and the door, or they face the entrance to the room while lying near you, or they choose spots where they can see both you and the most vulnerable access point to your space. This isn't accidental. This is your dog assuming the role of sentinel, of protector, of the one who watches while you rest. In Sif's house, there's a small hallway between the bedroom and the front door. Every night, Sif sleeps in that hallway. Not in the bedroom where it's warmest, not by the fire where it's coziest, in the hallway, in the space between her owner and the outside world. She's a medium-sized dog. She couldn't actually stop an intruder. But that's not the point. The point is that she's positioned herself to be the first warning, the first line of awareness. She's saying, I'll sacrifice my comfort to keep you safe. I'll sleep in the cold to be between you and anything that might threaten you. This behavior is rooted in pack dynamics, but it's been transformed by domestication into something even more touching. In wolf packs, the strongest members sleep in protected positions while younger or weaker members take the vulnerable spots. Your dog knows you're stronger, knows you're the actual protector, but they position themselves protectively anyway. They choose to act as guardian even when they don't need to, because the relationship isn't about hierarchy anymore. It's about mutual devotion. It's about love that doesn't calculate who owes what to whom. Research into canine spatial behavior shows that dogs make sleeping position decisions based on emotional attachment, not just comfort or safety. A dog who is merely living in your house might sleep wherever is most physically comfortable. But a dog who loves you, who sees you as family, will sacrifice comfort for proximity and strategic positioning. They want to be between you and potential danger. They want to maintain visual contact even in sleep. They want their body to serve as an early warning system should anything threaten the pack. Some dogs take this even further. They sleep with their back against you and their face toward the room. They position themselves so they can feel you breathing while monitoring the environment. They're creating a tactile connection that allows them to sense if you become distressed while simultaneously keeping watch over your shared space. It's a level of multitasking born entirely from love, from the desire to protect and connect simultaneously. In Norwegian culture, there's a concept called koselig. It's often translated as cozy, but it means something deeper. It's about creating warmth and safety in a harsh world. It's about the specific kind of intimacy that comes from sheltering together against the cold and dark. When Sif sleeps in the hallway, when any dog positions themselves as guardian while resting near you, they're creating koselig. They're saying, we make each other safe. We create shelter for each other. This space we share isn't just a house. It's a sanctuary we build together. These 5 complements, taken together, form a complete vocabulary of canine love. The sigh of safety, the turned back of trust, the lean of connection, the morning check-in of priority, the protected sleep of mutual devotion. Each one is a sentence in a language your dog speaks fluently. Each one is a way of saying, I love you, without any words at all. And the beauty of this language is that it's spoken in moments most people overlook. In the quiet spaces, in the ordinary rhythms of daily life, your dog isn't waiting for grand gestures to tell you how they feel. They're telling you every single day through these small, sacred acts, through the way they breathe in your presence, through where they choose to rest, through what they prioritize when they wake. These aren't just behaviors, they're declarations. They're your dog's way of saying, you changed my world. You made me feel safe enough to be vulnerable, important enough to protect, loved enough to make you the center of everything. And here's what makes it even more profound. Your dog gives you these compliments even when you don't deserve them, even on days when you're distracted or impatient or too busy to really see them. They keep offering these quiet honors. They keep speaking this language of devotion, whether you're fluent in it or not. Because that's what unconditional love looks like. It doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It doesn't require you to earn it fresh every day. It just keeps showing up, keeps sighing, keeps leaning, keeps checking, keeps protecting, keeps choosing you. The seasons will keep changing. Your dog will keep aging. The years will pass faster than you want them to. But these compliments, these small, profound gestures, they'll be there until the very end. They'll be the through line of your relationship. The proof that you matter to another living being in ways that transcend language and logic. Your dog can't write you letters, can't tell you in words how much you mean to them. But they can sigh deeply when you sit down, can turn their back in trust, can lean against you in the kitchen, can seek you first each morning, can sleep between you and the world. Which of these 5 compliments have you recognized in your own dog? Because I promise you, they're there. Your dog has been honoring you all along, speaking this ancient language of love in the quietest possible ways. All you have to do is learn to listen, to watch, to recognize these moments for the profound gifts they are. If you want to understand your dog's heart more deeply, stay for more quiet truths about the animals who love us most. Because your dog's compliments deserve to be seen, and their language deserves to be understood. Every sigh, every lean, every morning greeting, every protected night. These are love letters, written in breath and position and choice, and they're addressed to you.